Is e-commerce dead? Well, I don't know how to say this, but I always promised you to be completely honest with you. But at the same time, e-commerce has been there for a very, very, very long time, and it started to become more popular in the late 1997. Yet, it kept growing and growing with the rise of Web 2 platforms, easily shareable content, easier facilities for operations and shipping, and almost every other business factor until COVID came in. And e-commerce was one of the very few standing business models due to it being online. But with all that being said, e-commerce has finally come nowhere near being dead. And this video is going to explain to you exactly why. So let's start with the basic numbers anyone can find online. The global e-commerce growth rate for 2023 is forecast at 8.9%, bringing global e-commerce sales worldwide to almost $6 trillion. And let me speak only in the Arab region right now. The total e-commerce market value in the MENA region is to surpass $60 billion by 2026, just in the MENA region. And you can go find all those numbers online. I won't stress much about them. But here's a fun exercise you can do right now. Go to Google and write down e-commerce growth in blank. Just add any country you want. And you will find that it's always going upward. So it doesn't need to debate if e-commerce is dead or not. Now, I want to explain something. Usually, when something's dead is when it either gets oversaturated or it doesn't work anymore for whatever reason. So, question number one, is e-commerce actually saturated? No, you can't even ask this question because simply, e-commerce is not a business. It's a business model. So, can you ask, for example, are restaurants saturated? Of course not. Only in Dubai, there are 13,000 restaurants. So let's say that all of those restaurants, 100% of them, have decided to open an e-commerce store and to start selling their food online. It wouldn't add up to 26,000 businesses. It stays 13,000. Meaning, e-commerce is a business model that enhances your entire business from the customer shopping experience all the way back to your back-end facilities. So, the next time you open an e-commerce store, you're not opening an e-commerce store. You're opening a real, legit business. Dropshipping aside. So now, we understand why e-commerce cannot be saturated, but a product can be saturated. So if, for example, all of my students have decided to sell iPhone gold covers, eventually, it'll be saturated and almost all of them will make zero sales. But if every single student of mine starts an e-commerce business in different industries leading to different products, they all can have a fair piece of the cake. And what differentiates a good business from another business are several factors. I'll keep it for another video. But to point them out really fast, I'd say product choice and quality, I'd say the marketing strategy, the offer, which means the price or the entire bundle, and your store, your online store. So now, why is e-commerce on a very big rise? Because simply, a long time ago, all businesses were known to be for the big sharks only. Why? Because to start a business, you needed a very large capital. And therefore, you needed to probably have a job for 20, 30 years or get retired to get this capital and start. Or if you wanted to start early, you had to inherit some money from your parents at a young age and start earlier. So what did e-commerce do? The beauty of e-commerce is that it disrupted the entry to the business world. It was able to take away the power of starting a business all the way from the big sharks to almost everyone. So e-commerce now is very accessible. All the information you need to start, run, and scale a business is available online. So no need for a higher education to start. Plus, you can browse millions of products and suppliers in countries like China, for example, in literally one click. Rather than having to pay $5,000-$6,000 to go all the way to China and with the time you have probably talked to like 5 or 10 suppliers. Plus, there's no need to invest in rent or buy a store or design it, interior, exterior, all of the shit. Plus, advertising costs, which is thanks to online advertising, is 99% more targeted, yet 90% cheaper than traditional advertising. So if I had to sum it up, I'd say the barrier to entry to open a business have become low. So now, is it too late to start an e-commerce business? Well, definitely not. The more the population is growing, the more demand there will be for consumer products. So there is still a big fair share for anyone to join the e-commerce business model. You just need to be simply more creative and smarter and better than your competitors. And better was never offering a cheaper price. A small example is one of my old businesses. I was selling my product for $69.99, while literally 3 other competitors I had, the highest between them was selling it for $29.99, yet we had more than 50% of the market share. Because simply, we had a better quality, a better presentation for our product, we were available in more places, we had more social proof and testimonials and reviews, we were endorsed by more credible influencers, and probably a much better marketing strategy. So all of those with a lot of more factors would sum up to you being better than your competitor without decreasing your price. So price was never an indicator, and that's one of the main reasons why I'm not a firm believer in the dropshipping business model. It works, but I'm not a believer in it for this point. So if you were trying to build a solid, scalable brand, you would avoid dropshipping. But what I truly believe in is private labeling. I will have another video, which will come up soon, which explains the main things between all 4 types of e-commerce business models, especially dropshipping and private labeling. We're now at over 2,000 students in less than 6 months, with over 800 brands launched and 600 plus reviews, which made us the highest rated online business program in the MENA region. Plus, I have access to a lot of case studies right now to give you the perfect answers. But I hope this video answered your question about is e-commerce dead? And for anything related to starting your business in the Arab world, feel free to check all of the resources down below. Until next time, stay safe and may the engine be with you.